Welcome back to Game of Growth, your weekly podcast.
And you're listening to the ninth episode.
Now, we all know that cases for COVID 19 are at its peak, and just for the facts, 11 million cases are confirmed, recovered cases are close to 6 million, and reported deaths are 524K. I hope you all are taking care of yourself. So, India came up with the innovative platform to build a partnership between citizens and government with the help of technology for the growth and development of India. So we are talking about Arogya Setu app. Arogya Setu is an Indian open source COVID-19 service for contact tracing, mapping, and self-assessment. The app reached more than 100 million installs in 40 days, which is quite significant. Now, let's welcome our guest, Niharika Arora, who is one of the contributors to the development of Arogya Setu app. Niharika, she's a software engineer at 1MG and also has contributed to the growth of many other renowned brands in her career. First of all, I would like to congratulate to all the developers of the applications since Arogya Setu app has become part of MIT Review's top 25 COVID tracing tracker across the world. So, how are you doing, Niharika? How is the lockdown treating you?
Hi Tina, I'm doing well. Right now, I am working from home only, and thank you for inviting me. And also, I am fortunate enough to be a part of the magnificently electrifying Arogya Setu team. Thanks to the government of India for giving me this opportunity to work on a project that has an impact on human lives.
Great. So, Niharika, how did the idea start and who are the people behind working on this application?
Okay. The way I see it, there are three major ways a pandemic can be eradicated. First, the virus mutates in a way that it becomes less infectious to people and get eradicated on its own.
Right,
Second, the virus a community at large, and people eventually develop herd immunity against it, rendering the virus extremely manageable. Or third, a community actively isolates and treat the people infected so that the spread of the virus can be contained. And when all the infected people are healthy again, you successfully eliminate the virus. And
right,
out in the real world, you can't influence the rate at which virus would mutate on, or the rate at which will develop herd immunity against it, as it is dependent on a lot of factors. But what we can do is identify the areas that are virus hotspots, isolate them to prevent further spread, and treat the people who have been infected.
right.
So, this idea of identifying hotspots and tracing individuals who have been to those areas or been in contact with someone who has already been infected is the central idea behind the app.
Hmm.
And this is something that our government also realized, right? And
Right.
they encourage industry leaders to come up with the technology driven solutions to fight against COVID-19. Prashant, our CEO here at 1MG, asked us if we wanted to contribute towards this effort, and I voluntarily stepped up, and so did individuals from other organizations.
Hmm.
And that's a team working behind the scene for this app. A lot of passionate volunteers and the people from the government of India who have put a lot of hard work and sleepless nights towards releasing the app in just 15 days.
Amazing, amazing, Niharika. So one app which is developed through volunteering and the growth which it's facing is like tremendous. So Niharika, I'm curious to know how the government is linked and contributing to this project and who are the major funders here?
It's a government of India initiative, and I am not aware of the specifics of funding. The government did set up a team of mentors, and under their guidance, we developed Arogya Setu.
Okay, okay, got it. So, and what are the beneficiaries of this app? How is the ecosystem using it? Any thoughts on
Uh,
that?
yeah. Arogya Setu is currently being used by more than 130 million users and is available in 12 different languages. And we are just glad to see that people believe and trust this app. With this great number, we have been able to create a dashboard for the government officials where they can see the anonymized data by geographies both city and state level, to get a clear understanding of emerging COVID hotspots. And this, along with the contact tracing, has helped the government efforts in identifying the users who are at risk of COVID-19 and help them out in every possible way. Also, there's an option for a user to assess themselves and let the government know if they need any help out there. A very good feature which I use the most in app is nearby stats, and that is available in 5 distance ranges. That is half, 1, 2, 5, or 10 kilometers. And through this feature, one can get the information like the number of COVID-19 positive users, the total number of Arogya Setu app users, the number of users who came in Bluetooth proximity to a COVID-19 patient, the users who have taken self-assessment, and the number of users who are tagged unwell based on reported symptoms in self-assessment. So I love this feature. Other than this, we have as many employers, service providers, RWAs, and malls are using Arogya Setu for entry or providing service. And to ensure people are not faking the status or the app, we have implemented QR code validation there. So every user has an option to generate a QR code in the Arogya Setu app and can show the QR code to gain entry or access. When scanned, it displays the name, the registered mobile number, and the status on the screen. And the status, the message there is color coded as per the risk of level of the individual there. Also, the app directs users to public health advisories, the hygiene tips, do's and don'ts, mythbusters, and other user information. And all this has been done to ensure more safety around.
Great. That's amazing. That's amazing. So, why should it be mandatory to download this application? Can you explain the problem it solves for the nation in general?
I don't think it's mandatory, but the government is encouraging everyone to download the app and utilize the advantages that come with it. If you were to ask my opinion from a purely tech point of view, mandates cause resistance. Adoption happens best when users understand that the product can solve their problems. It is true that the effectiveness of the app is higher if more and more people use it. I hope people understand and download the app, seeing the value it brings to them and their fellow citizens. The app was developed only to benefit people and a way to keep a check on the virus in a populated country like us, where the phone technology is used by almost everyone here.
Right.
However, the way the app is used, and if there are any mandates, is for the government to decide based on what works for the society at large.
Right, right. I agree with you, Niharika. So, what's the technical architecture of the app? What technology was used to build it?
Okay, let me start with the app front end. The core of Arogya Setu app is Bluetooth. We are using Bluetooth Low Energy, BLE, which is designed to provide significantly low power consumption. And BLE works with advertisement and scanning. The device in the central role scans, looking for advertisement, and the device in the peripheral role makes the advertisement there. So initially, while implementing BLE, we faced some technical challenges like how to handle collision handling and packets dropping, but there are large number of devices around for scanning as well as editing. So to counter this, we implemented adaptive scanning, which was nowhere in any other contact tracing application till the time we implemented it. Other challenge was iOS to iOS and iOS to Android background scanning due to their framework restrictions. And we solved it using GAD server implementation, where it started pinging the devices in background for connections there. But again, the problem for Android to iOS background scanning remained, which we architected in a way that we could do a reverse search. So that is again another thing which we were able to do away with the current Apple and Android infrastructure there. We are using Room database for locally storing the scan information. App's home screen is a web view, which is implemented in P-React, a lighter version of React, with a better state management and abstracted DOM operation. Uh, these features makes a page lighter, and the
Okay.
lighter your page is, the faster it loads. On the backend part, we have used Golang, Python, Node.js, etc. Based on the service only. For data engineering and data science work, most of our work is in Scala, and the tools that we primarily use are Spark, Redshift, Kafka, etc. And all the tools and frameworks were decided keeping in mind the user base and the scale.
Right, right. I hope our audience find this answer very useful to all of them. What are the best practices kept in mind to ensure better performance of the app?
One of the best thing the app has it is its adaptive scanning implementation, which counters the back of schemes. In simple words, it means that we can adjust the timing for our scan request and response, and this has surely helped us in covering more people around and providing a better scanning performance. Also, it has helped us in adjusting the power consumption based on the close context per interval there. uh, the app is not allowed to run on rooted devices for security purposes. Also, the all the information that we keep locally on the app, we keep that in the Room database, and that is stored in an encrypted manner, so no one can access this data. Also, we have tried to use the latest tech stack only, as given the limited amount of time. We already had our code base in Kotlin, and the one which we didn't have, we converted that to Kotlin, and now using data binding to provide better readability. We have implemented SSL pinning uh, to provide secure client and backend interactions there.
Right.
Keeping in mind the app size factor, most of our images are only in SVG or WebP. We are using ProGuard that reduces the size of application, removing the unused classes and methods that contribute to 64K method count limit of an Android application. And this also makes the application difficult to reverse engineering by obfuscating the code. And right now, our app size is 4.2 MB, and the download size is 3.2 MB only.
Wow, that's very less comparing to other apps.
Yeah.
And also considering the fact that the number of downloads it has reached. So it's one of the India's fastest growing app in terms of downloads, which is more than 100 million. So the question is, how did you folks manage the scale?
Scale, security, and the speed of execution were the defining features of this project. We had to make sure that we deliver a best in class product which works at a scale we have never ever seen before.
Right.
So basically, the fundamental concept components of this service are all scalable. We somewhat knew about the nature of the workload that we will get, a spiky load, and kept that the same in mind throughput design and implementation. Our authentication service is completely built on the serverless architecture. We are using various scalable databases like DynamoDB, MySQL, etc. And we use containers everywhere, which automatically scale up and down based on the need, just in few minutes. On the data side, Kafka, Spark, etc. are used, which are scalable enough to handle large data volumes. So
Right.
what I will say is that we already knew that we will be getting a non-linear scale someday. Like someone will tweet about the app and the traffic would be enormously high,
Right.
and other days it might be low as well. So we choose a component components wisely, and everything has already been handled there.
Great, that's amazing. So, Niharika, how are the response campaigns with the actors and celebrities helping here? How influencers are contributing to the awareness of the app? What's your personal views on this?
The responses are quite positive. When a public figure speaks about anything, people listen to them,
Right.
right? Like if I talk about the app, maybe I will manage to get two or three, maybe 10 people to download the app and use it. But Mr. Amitabh Bachchan and Mr. Ajay Devgan are known celebrities, and people like them and follow them.
Right.
So for sure, it has created a good impact in increasing the user base. Fun fact: when our honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi ji, discussed the app on TV, we suddenly saw a spike of 15 million requests per
Oh,
minute, and yeah, it's a number, and this shows how much people respect him and follow. So
indeed.
yeah, we had a good impact.
Great, great. That's very exceptional, actually. Moving on to the next question. The app gives information about the proximity of COVID patients. So, how is the self-assessment data is being utilized by the government?
This is more of a user information. Let's say, for example, if someone took this assessment and they reported feeling unwell, and they are above 60, so government will reach out to them to help them out in every possible way. Like this, there are many other scenarios too where government can interact with the people in need. Also the government looks at the anonymized aggregated data to understand and find the COVID hotspots, and also the emerging hotspots there. So
Okay.
this data is helping out there too.
Got it. Got it. So, one important question which I would like to ask is, excuse, how did you deal with the whole privacy-related controversy, which was way going into news and magazines were publishing it about the controversy which talked about the privacy of users who are using the application.
I may not be the right person to speak about any broader aspects, but I can give you the facts from a technical point of view.
Right.
We have implemented the app keeping in mind a privacy and security first architecture. The Bluetooth data and location data are stored locally in the app on the phone, and in an encrypted way only. All the data are stored whether locally or in specific cases on server. That is deleted as per the time defined in the privacy policy of the app. Very limited person data is sent to the server. Only a few actions like self-assessment and viewing the nearby statistics, etc. These require location to be sent to the server. The data stored locally is sent to the server only if the person is tested COVID-19 positive, or the user voluntarily pushes the data using the shared data with government option. We have given that option in the app there.
Okay.
Also, the code for the app is already open source now to clear all the doubts people had earlier for privacy and security.
Right, right. So, any plans for the future with this app? Any interesting campaigns which are being planned to increase app adoption and penetration across the country?
Actually, I can't tell the future roadmap for the app because I am a
Right.
volunteer and I just do my work. But what I am told to, this information will be shared by the government only. But one thing is for sure, we will keep working in the best possible manner to make the app functional, considering the feedback of users and also as per government advice. Thank you.
Right. Great, great. That was such a crisp and a useful discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Niharika Arora, one of the developers of the famous and most important app in need today, Arogya Setu app. So thank you so much, Niharika.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.